So, ladies and gentlemen, according to Russian sources, President of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, has expressed his desire to meet the captain of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore. Now, during the official meeting in China between the North Korean leader and Vladimir Putin of Russia, Kim Jong-un stated that his country is ready to help Russia by enemies. He is already considering sending military workers to participate in the reconstruction of infrastructures destroyed by Ukraine, affirming his full support to Moscow. He further stated that he would like to meet Ibrahim Traore one-on-one as to be able to establish a direct relationship with the African president. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very big move. You know, yesterday right here, we were only talking about Russia, North Korea, talking about, you know, proposing that they want to, you know, send some heavy ballistic capabilities to Mali. Now, we have to realize something, right? Ballistics are in different grades, right? The ballistics that is coming from North Korea, according to the information we are getting as we speak, to the entire AES block, according to what the anonymous sources revealing, that it's a ballistic missile of extreme destructive capability. Ladies and gentlemen, and when we talk about this ballistic missile that North Korea is proposing to Mali, a lot of people might think, why would they need a deterrence capability of that level of extreme, you know, extraordinary destruction? You know what I mean? Mali needs it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not even the first time Mali has been having that level of capability. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1992, the Soviet Union gave about 85 SA-3 anti-aircraft defense missile to Mali. At the time, Mali was at a supreme imperial power, right? The West had nothing to do about it. The missiles were active, they were ready to move. It's just on your mark, set, go. But ladies and gentlemen, the president, you know, the democratic president of Mali at the time, these guys did not know nothing about the capabilities, or they do not understand how geopolitically having this type of defense deterrence capabilities could, you know, shape in the future of the country. They don't know how you possessing this type of equipment, this weapon, is going to help you earn your respect around your neighborhood. Look, these weapons are not for escalation, they are not to provoke, but when you possess this weapon, you earn your respect. And I'm not talking about you possessing maybe 85. Ladies and gentlemen, 85 Soviet era, you know, ballistic warheads. Even some of them had multiple warheads in it. But you know who destroyed them? United States and France. Under what excuse? Ladies and gentlemen, let's watch this video.
The presence of SA-3 missiles in the center of the town in Bamako in Mali poses a direct threat to the civilian population.
It's in the heart of Bamako. It would only take a small fire to set the missiles off. And with 85 of them there, the consequences of an explosion in that location would be catastrophic.
Ces missiles, ça constitue un grand danger pour la population. Donc, en l'absence de toute expertise à notre niveau pour les détruire, c'est pour cela que nous avons bien voulu demander à la hiérarchie qui a approché l'UNMAS pour la destruction de ces missiles.
There were 85 SA-3 Soviet missiles stored in the Bamako town centre. We brought them up to Tiantimbagou, which is 80 kilometres from Bamako. with the amount of explosive content that was in the missiles in Bamako, it would have probably taken out a radius of 8 kilometres, and that's a lot of Bamako to lose. Okay, safety checks. Let's start working through and stripping out. At this stage, we're going through the safety checks. We're moving the brain of the system here, so it can't function. The white nut here is one of the connections, and it connects onto the boosters, and we have to make sure there is no connection between the two. After that, we're going to take off the actual nose and remove the detonator. So there we have the detonator withdrawn. Once that's removed, nothing can function.
These missiles are designed to hit targets in the air. It's a very common weapon system that was very prevalent in the 70s and 80s.
The missiles come from Soviet Union. They were part of the Cold War arms race. They were delivered in 1978, but obviously they were stored and kept for the event of a war. Fortunately, that didn't happen.
We'll take off the booster motor, the initial booster which pushes the missile off the ramp, and then the booster propellant will be taken away to be burned. This is the initial booster fuel which lifts it off the ramp.
We know that disarmament is required globally, here on the continent, in the region, and in Mali. This operation contributes to broader disarmament, and it definitely contributes to human security and the protection of civilians.
Getting rid of the weapons is the key to stabilisation, and once you have stabilisation, then the countries can continue to grow.
There's also a broader contribution to the fight against terrorism, because ultimately this type of weapon system can be diverted for other means.
For me, it's a pleasure to get rid of them. There's no need for them, why store them? All stations from Tango Delta 2 stand by. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, firing now.
So I cannot believe that the government of Mali, should we call this lack of education or what, allowed the West to take away a very consequential capability from their defense. You know, Arsenal, just like that, 85, and they destroyed everything. What was the claim? That it was too dangerous to be in Bamako. Ladies and gentlemen, who gave these weapons to Mali? The USSR, the Russians. So if you just see that by default, Mali, the entire AES bloc is back in a relationship with Russia, it's natural, it's seamless. This relationship with the West never happened originally. It was forced. You know, the relationship with Russia is natural, but the relationship Look, the relationship with the West is not a natural relationship. It was an enforced relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a relationship that just happened out of force. Slavery. It was a bad relationship. We were never supposed to have anything to do with the West. But ladies and gentlemen, here we are. You can see that the only thing the West has ever brought to Africa is deceit, lies, robbery, plundering, using Africa as a test site for different type of disease. We need to liberate ourselves. And that is my mission here. I'm not just a regular YouTuber that is trying to look for money or trying to look for fame. I'm not here to look for fame, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not. My mission is bigger than this. I started this in May. But my mission, if you really know the depth of my mission, I know myself. And I need you all. This is teamwork. And we are going to experience one of the most consequential change in Africa. I have a very, very big plan. Nigeria, Ghana, Burkina, Cote d'Ivoire. We can make this work. But there is a plan. But it's a game, it's one step at a time. And we are going. I want to get to a particular number. When I get there, I will not only present on YouTube again, then I will start traveling around the entire continent. Then I will start speaking to a lot of our generation, because the youth are the future. Look, I don't have too much business to do with the old corrupt generation that are currently in the ruling class. See, we want to break the siege of capitalism in Africa. It's not good for us. If you look at Nigeria now, you cannot point and there are some class that controls everything. Just the same thing you have in America, probably in the UK. So for the country, for the continent to grow, we need to have, we talk about uniting Africa. Who are we uniting? We're not uniting the leaders, right? We're uniting ourselves. We're already uniting now. But I'm willing to take it to the next level. How we can trade with ourselves. As African youth, we can create platforms where we can trade with ourselves. And by the help of God, we will get to a point where we can trade in our local currencies among ourselves. Let the younger generation coming after us know that, look, we don't need the leaders to dictate to us. We are free people. And we have to create this relationship amongst ourselves. If you look at most civilians in Africa, we all think alike. But the leadership class, they are the puppets. They don't think like us. So this is my mission. We have people leading the course, right? Good for us. But as citizens, we have our own role to play. My information is not enough. I need more people to spread this information by every righteous means possible. This is a mandate. We can't fail. We won't fail. So let's go. Now, let's get that over with. The next information, right? There is a coup d'etat that has just been foiled in Mali. According to information that we have received, the man at the heart of this exposure again is the head of the intelligence agency of Mali, Modibo Kone. This man again has once again caught. They said this time around, the coup plotters have been arrested. The investigation is ongoing. They are beginning to mention names. They are beginning to expose their plots by themselves. And in due time, the public is going to hear about it. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, we're getting to a point where, this patriotism has to be enforced. A lot of people don't understand. The colonial clerks don't understand the meaning of this. Do you know, I appreciate every Nigerian, including even the Fulanese. But a lot of people don't understand, right? Is it not ludicrous that the West is telling you, through a man called Bill Gates, that the population of a country like Nigeria, in my own opinion, which is over 300 million, That population census thing is a lie. Nigeria is over 300 million, even with the terrorism insurrection, right? They're telling you that that population is a problem to the globe. India is billion. China is billion. They call those population super population. There is superpower, there's super economy, there is super military, there is super population. Now they want to come and tell us that our population is a crime. I am a strong believer that with a good government that has a mind of defiance to the West and that truly serves the people, this population of Africa, right, especially the population of Nigeria, could make a very consequential change. But you gotta be ready to step on a lot of toes, to be honest, because a lot of toes needs to be stomped down, most especially the so-called capitalists. Nigeria is suffering, and the youths are diverted in a very wrong way, but they can wake up. It's not about shouting. It's not about, they just need to be told the things they need to know. When you look at the Igbo tribe, these guys are economically, in terms of marketing, and they are extremely talented. It's they are God gifted at it. You have the North, cheap labor. A Northerner can walk to any level. I'm talking about, physical work. But a lot of people want to say, oh, these people are not intelligent. Everybody will not have the same thing. You have intelligent Northerners, right? But because the elites there don't allow the education to reach there, some of them have the talent, but they are not able to, grind that talent. They're not able to fire that talent within them that is able to show that, their capabilities, right? And if you look at the Yoruba people, they're smart, right? But most of the time, because of the political and ethnic, unrest in the country, they tend to use their smartness to manipulate. But we have to understand that, look, we don't have to agree on so many things, but we have to agree based on our national interests as a people. Come together and use the God-given talent that we all have to lift ourselves out of these trenches. Recently, the United States of America is beginning to, revoke so many visas. Why? As long as you're a Nigerian, you are going down. Go and find out. Even if they've approved your visa, they call you back that they want to check something. That has been the claim. They take your visa from you. But the question is, if your country is good enough, why would you? And when it comes to investment, people are not investing in the right things, right? Nigerians only think about money, money, money. No. That's a conversation for another day. We will get there, but we are coming. We're coming. So, ladies and gentlemen, after this coup got foiled, this coup plot, Assimi Goita has come to make a statement, right? According to the information reaching us, said, Assimi Goita said today that the fight for sovereignty will be won with force. No gifts, no concessions. I love this. Look, we are lucky to have these guys, to be honest with you. We are lucky to have these guys. And a lot of people, when they hear statements like force, they start getting panicky or they start getting scared. There's nothing to be scared of. The battle of sovereignty will be won on the battlefield of force. You have to enforce it. No true sovereignty have been gotten under negotiation. No. When you negotiate, you make too many concessions that is going to affect you and prove consequential to your sovereignty. So sovereignty is earned by every means possible. But before the physical manifestation of sovereignty, spiritually and mentally, you have to know that you have to be sovereign within yourself. So the mental aspect of sovereignty and anti-colonialism has to be established so that we all can be on the same page. That is why we're here to preach this gospel. This is no longer a message, this is a gospel. I am preaching. Please, let's save ourselves. When they say illegal aliens, when they say illegal aliens, they're talking to us. You run today, a day will come, a very hostile generation will come and they will tell you, you are an illegal alien. And they will return you back. If you don't put your hands in now, your boots in to support this growing fire, to feed more coal into it, right? A day might come. It might not be you, but who knows? Who knows the next set of people that they will call the illegal alien? Let's go forward, right? So, you know, the Azawadians have been very quiet. The Malians are knocking them from left to right. But we are beginning to see the Azawadians emerge again with a lot of, you know, choreographed videos, with a lot of propaganda. You know why? Because of the Baraktia Akinci drone that has been destroyed in the northern Kida region. But according to the information we have, another Baraktia Akinci drone is coming back. The resources are there to bring these things. Don't play. Don't play. So, in the loop, while the resources is coming, you know what the FLA did to make an headline? They actually attacked a particular African core military, you know, installation in the Timbuktu region. And they were so, you know, excited about it. You know, the Timbuktu region is actually, you're already going to the northern Mali. It's almost like the central, but you're already approaching north. So, according to the FLA, they said they hit a satellite installation, you know, like an antenna for, you know, use of the reconnaissance drone, with the antenna that controls the drone units of the FPV and every other thing. But ladies and gentlemen, that was a lie. The drone got jammed before it got close to the antenna. I don't know if those people understand anything. But you have the French citizens coming out to applaud them. You see, we have to understand that this is not just, we're not dealing with some group of people here. We're dealing with an entire type of people, right? We're not dealing with some group of individuals. We're dealing with an entire type of people. And when you see them, you better be alert. You better be at alert. Unfortunately, we all have we have a common enemy. But it hurts when I see a lot of black people distracted and fighting among themselves. You know, like the Ghanaians that were fighting on land. A lot of people don't see the big picture, do they? So, after they dropped the video, you know, a lot of people have come out to debunk the claim. Most especially the African Corps representative have come out to debunk the claim that did not happen. But, you know, the Azawadians will continue to do their thing and talk a lot. But to me, I feel like we're getting to a point where the Malians need to really, really do a sort of internal escalation against these people. You know, we can't tolerate any type of diversion at this time. But the African Corps have a message for us all about the terrorists, about their propaganda.
What news should we give them about the Russian soldiers?
Write 70.
No, write 200. There's nothing to feel sorry for them.
It's a very short message, but if you understand, you understand. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to cut the story here because the next video, it will come after so many hours. Yeah, but I'm going to do 2 videos today. It's to show you another successful military operation in the AES.
Our valiant defense and security forces courageously repelled the ill-intentioned assailants and terrorists during the attack of September 2nd, 2025, carried out in Abalama, As of this date, the situation is as follows.
During the attack of September 2nd, 2025, on the GNN patrol position and the security detachment of the Zender Agades to Balama route, the results are as follows. On the enemy side, 2 killed at the detachment, 1 wounded captured, 4 FM-80s recovered, 4 AK-47s, 2 RPG-7s, 3 RP-7 charges, 3 rockets, 1 Motorola radio, and several rounds of ammunition recovered. 2 were captured during the sweep of the FAN elements. On the same day, the pursuit led by the prefect of Adasnet, along with members of the National Guard and the UNBP, managed to recover a Tundra vehicle. On September 3rd, 2025, during a sweep, members of the National Guard and the National Gendarmerie were able to capture 3 assailants. On our side, 1 dead, 5 wounded, including 1 seriously injured, who later succumbed to his injuries.
The response from the regional and departmental authorities was immediate, consisting of taking strategic measures.
On behalf of the head of state, the President of the Republic, I would like to once again extend our congratulations to all the defense and security forces, especially to the Niger National Guard, who bravely repelled this attack and were able to pursue the assailants together with Prefect Dadobisnat, who is present here, as well as members of the UNVP, whose commitment and courage also deserve recognition. This made it possible to pursue, to track these assailants, and even to recover one of the vehicles they were forced to abandon. There is also a prisoner who is currently receiving medical care, and 2 others who have been apprehended and are currently under investigation.
But also to provide moral support as well as the encouragement and compassion of the highest authorities of Niger.
We made a point of making these visits, on the one hand, to provide them with full moral support, and on behalf of the head of state, the President of the Republic, to extend our congratulations and encouragement to the defense and security forces for their very vigorous response, which succeeded in routing the assailants who arrived in 4 vehicles. I would also like to say that the pursuit has been launched and the sweep is ongoing in order to catch them and, if possible, neutralize them so they can no longer cause harm.
The mobilization of all those responsible for security matters remains at its peak in the Agades region under the enlightened leadership of Major General Ibrabula Maisa, who works in concert with all our defense and security forces across all branches with fierce determination to restore social peace, often at the risk of their own lives, in order to carry out the sovereign mission entrusted to them, ensuring the defense and integrity of Niger's territory.
And a particular AES presidents have made another revelation, which I feel you all should hear about. But until then, I'll see you on the next video. It's your boy 72 Android signing out. Enough said. But before I go, homeland or death will always prevail. And I want you to know, in this race, we will succeed. It's no longer a doubt, it's no longer a speculation. We will succeed. But for us to succeed, make sure you secure your mind. Because that's the target of the propaganda. That is the target of the Western, hegemonic message. Everything they do, they target your mind. They target your mind. So protect your mind. The Bible says, protect your heart with all diligence, because out of it are the issues of life. Please, let us restore our mind before all else. Thank you, and God bless you.